What's up, guys? Josh Riel here with Tom Marks.
Hello.
And we're going to discuss why we were a little disappointed with Marvel's Avengers video game presentation. And the crux of it for me was, it was a really cool presentation in a lot of ways, in that we got to see some gameplay, we got to see a lot of details about the game and what's going to be coming, the rollout of the game, the release date, yet I have very little idea of what this game is actually about. I have no sense of what I'm actually going to be doing. What's the mission structure? Is it mostly story-based? How am I going to be queuing up with my friends? I don't really know anything that's going on. And now, Tom, why do you think that is?
Yeah, we got like little glimpses of what looked like it could be gameplay without a UI, and we are going to be able to play it on the show floor of E3, but even then they didn't talk about the big systems beyond that. I have a little bit of a wild theory, which is I think that people would be mad if they found out what it was. And my theory is that this is much more online heavy than they let on. And this is going to be more of a game kind of like, I originally thought Destiny. Now I'm thinking it's probably more something like Anthem, where it's very update-driven, very content-driven, repeatable missions with your friends. And that's all just a theory. But I have a feeling that basically what they did is they wanted to make it look as close to Marvel Spider-Man as a single-player, cinematic, kind of story-driven thing. And yeah, it's co-op, but you know what I mean, like that more linear narrative. I think they wanted to make it look as close to that as possible, because that's really what people wanted. And even when they did a tease that it was going to be coming to E3, that's really what people wanted, was we want this to be a single-player thing. We want this to be a story-driven thing. We don't want Destiny, yada, yada, yada. And like, I think they saw that feedback, and I think they knew that if they showed a lot of what the game is, then people would be pretty mad at it. And that's just my theory, but I think it might be right. Oh no.
Yeah, we don't know. Obviously, this is all speculation. But, another detail from the reveal does kind of support that, in that they were saying, we'll be adding more heroes and we'll be adding more areas. And so that doesn't sound like a very linear, story-driven game to me, right? That sounds like a game where you could constantly add more missions and add on to the side where you would maybe go out and do these different missions that aren't. Maybe there is a big overall story. Maybe there's not.
I think there will be. I think there's definitely going to be that sort of through line, but Anthem had that through line too. Destiny had that through line too. You can have a point A, a beginning to end, point A to point B story while still in this sort of online structure. And it's a very, very popular structure. They said before, we were talking about continuous single player, whatever that means. And it's just, it's very unclear right now. And I wish that they had just given us anything more. And I think that it's very much a conscious decision that they didn't.
Yeah, so if I'm trying to visualize what you're describing here, it's maybe you would have like an Avengers HQ hub that you go in and have experience, story moments. Then you go and you queue up and you go out and try and fight some bad guys, do a mission and stuff like that. Then come back to that area, much like an Anthem. And so, but you think, if that is the case, then they were trying to shy away from that on purpose?
Yeah, and that's definitely speculation, but we do know that there's going to be customizable. You can customize your heroes. Like you said, they're going to be adding more and more stuff to it. And I think that is sort of what we were going for, or what they're going to be going for, and I think that's probably why they didn't tell a bunch of people about it. Because if you look back at that leak from an E3 panel, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and there was these little gameplay details that people were picking apart, overwhelmingly people were like, I don't want a multiplayer online Avengers game. I just want Marvel Spider-Man, but with the Avengers. And I don't think that's what this is going to be, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we are obviously doing a lot of guesswork here.
Yes.
But I think ultimately what this boils down to, whether it ends up being what we're thinking or not, is that this was a bit disappointing because they didn't give us a clear idea of what the game is. And that makes for a kind of a lackluster presentation. I didn't think I'd come out of seeing Marvel's Avengers big E3 showcase feeling a little confused about what the game is. Obviously, we got that really just sparse teaser a year ago, and have been waiting for just details, and we just want really anything. And finally, we get them, and it's not we don't get a clear idea of what the game is.
And I think confused is the right word, right? Because it's not like I saw that and was completely disappointed. It didn't let me down entirely. I want to know more. I genuinely do. And I think it could still be a pretty cool thing. They didn't really give us a lot to latch onto besides, hey, this is an Avengers game. Here is what it looks like, and that's all.
Yeah, it looks like sort of like an MCU light.
It's MCU. Yeah, it's so weird because they took the characters very clearly, the MCU Avengers 1 cast, and even look,
Yes.
and then just put different faces and a different story on them, and it all kind of looks very Uncanny Valley as a result.
It's almost like there's like the MCU and then the next universe over where things are just slightly different
Yeah.
is this universe. Also, there's no Hawkeye.
No, he's gonna come later, maybe.
Yeah, maybe later. He'll be a nice DLC character or something like that. Oh, they said no DLC. He'll be a nice add-on character that we
Yes.
get for free. Woohoo!
That
Well,
was a nice announcement. No DLC, no microtransactions,
Yes.
no loot boxes.
Yes.
That's cool to hear that this is just going to be you buy the game and
that would be awesome. See, we got some good stuff out of this too.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you to everyone out there who is watching. And be sure to keep it here on IGN for more from E3 2019.